Hello friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy, and I'm an ordained minister. We are in Bible study, and we're in the Nev, and we will be in the Nev through 2025. In this video, we are in Leviticus chapter 24, and it's verses 1 through 23. So let's get in. Oil and bread set before the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamps may be kept burning continually outside the curtain of the testimony in the tent of meeting." So you know exactly where. Aaron is to tend the lamps before the Lord from evening till morning continually. This is to be a lasting ordinance for generations to come. The lamps of pure gold lampstand before the Lord must be tended continually. So night watch, right, over the lamps. Take fine flour and bake 12 loaves of each, 12 loaves of bread, using 2/10 of an ephah. That is probably about 4 quarts or 4.5 liters for each loaf. Set them in 2 rows, 6 in each row, on the table of pure gold before the Lord. Along each row, pour some incense as a memorial portion to represent the bread and to be an offering made to the Lord by fire. This bread is to be set out before the Lord regularly, Sabbath after Sabbath, on behalf of the Israelites, as a lasting covenant. It belongs to Aaron and his sons, who are to eat it in a holy place, because it is a most holy part of their regular share of the offerings made to the Lord by fire. So bread being very important within this community, okay? A blasphemer stoned. Now the son of an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father went out among the Israelites, and a fight broke out in the camp between him and an Israelite. The son of the Israelite woman blasphemed the name, and they have the name in a capital N, so God's name, Yahweh, okay, with a curse. So they brought him to Moses. His mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri the Danite. They put him in custody until the will of the Lord should be made clear to them. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the blasphemer outside of camp. All those who heard him are to lay their hands on his head, and the entire assembly is to stone him. Say to the Israelites, if anyone curses his God, he will be held responsible. Anyone who blasphemes the name of the Lord must be put to death. The entire assembly must stone him, whether an alien or native born. When he blasphemes the name, he is to be put to death. If anyone takes the life of a human being, he must be put to death. Anyone who takes the life of someone's animal must make restitution, life for life. If anyone injures his neighbor, whatever he has done must be done to him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he was injured the other, so he is to be injured. Whoever kills an animal must make restitution, but whoever kills a man must be put to death. You are to have the same law for the alien and the native born. I am the Lord your God." Then Moses spoke to the Israelites, and they took the blasphemer outside of camp and stoned him. The Israelites did as the Lord commanded Moses. I can't say I necessarily agree with all the violence, but I also say it was a different time, and violence was commonplace and what people understood. I am grateful to be in a place where violence may be commonplace, but it's no longer just blindly accepted by all of society. Certainly not by me. Hello friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Nev, and we will be through the end of 2025. In this video, we are in Leviticus chapter 25. It's a long chapter. Goes through 1 through 55. So we're going to jump in because we're doing the whole chapter, just like we always do. The Sabbath year. The Lord said to Moses on Mount Sinai, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land I am going to give you, the land itself must observe the Sabbath to the Lord. For 6 years sow your fields, and for 6 years prune your vineyards and gather your crops. But in the 7th year, the land is to have a Sabbath of rest, a Sabbath to the Lord." So no planting. "Do not sow your fields or prune your vineyards. Do not reap what grows of itself or harvest the grapes of your untended vines. The land is to have a year of rest. Whatever the land yields during the Sabbath year will be food for you, for yourselves, your manservants and maidservants, and your hired worker and your temporary resident who live among you, as well as your livestock and wild animals. Whatever the land produces may be eaten." So you can't plant anything new, but you can eat from what you've planted every 7th year of that. So just no planting anything new. And that's to allow the soil to recoup. You'll get better crops with healthy soil. That's also why people who are professional farmers tend to rotate their crops. That would be the other way we do that. Okay. The year of the Jubilee. Count off 7 Sabbath of years, 7 times 7, so that the 7th Sabbath of years amounts to the period of 49 years. Okay. Then have the trumpet sounded everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month, on the Day of Atonement. Sound the trumpet throughout your land. Consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. Each one of you is to return his family property, and each to his own clan. Meaning that if you had bought property from somebody who was in like a different part from where your family clan was, on the 50th year you had to give it back to that family. Even if you bought it, tended to it, did all that stuff, you have to give it back. The 50th year shall be a jubilee for you. Do not sow and do not reap what grows of itself, or harvest the untended vine. So in year 49 you can, but in year 50 you cannot. For it is a jubilee, and it is to be holy for you. Eat only what is taken directly from the fields. So no vines, but the fields. Anything that might be growing wild, or anything that continues to grow even though you didn't plant last year. You can eat that. In this year of Jubilee, everyone is to return to his own property. You'll have to go home. If you sell land to one of your countrymen or buy any from him, do not take advantage of each other. Okay? You are to buy from your countrymen on the basis of the number of years since Jubilee, and he is to sell to you on the basis of the numbers of years left for harvesting crops. So meaning, if they know it's year like 48 and a half, they can't charge you the full price for the field. They can only charge you for the 6 months of sowing, or the year in 6 months. Because in year 50, you no longer have a lease with them. So they can't charge you like what it would be for the long term. And they go, "Oh, sorry, you gave me all that money, but it was actually only a 6 months year. Haha, you didn't know it." When the years are many, you are to increase the price. And when the years are few, you are to decrease the price. Because what he is really selling you is a number of crops. So essentially, you didn't really own the land. You were leasing it. Do not take advantage of each other, but fear your God. I am the Lord your God. Follow my decrees and be careful to obey my laws, and you will live safely in the land. Then the land will yield its fruit, and you will eat your fill and live there in safety. You may ask, what will we eat in the 7th year if we do not plant or harvest our crops? I will send you such a blessing in the 6th year that the land will yield enough for 3 years. So he'll take care of you. While you plant during the 8th year, you will eat from the old crop, and you will continue to eat until the harvest of the 9th year comes in. So he's like, I got you. We're going to produce a lot in these other years. The land must not be sold permanently, because the land is mine, and you are but aliens and my tenants. I mean, he made the planet. God doesn't need us, and Mother Earth doesn't need us. We need her and him. Okay? Throughout the country that you hold as a possession, you must provide for the redemption of the land. If one of your countrymen becomes poor and sells some of his property, his nearest relative is to come and redeem what his countryman is sold. If, however, a man has no one to redeem it for him, but he himself prospers and acquires sufficient means to redeem it, he is determined to determine the value for the years since it was he sold it, and refund the balance to the man to whom he sold it. Then he can go back to his own property. But if he does not acquire the means to repay him, what he sold will remain in the possession of the buyer until the year of Jubilee, in which case it'll go back to the family. It will be returned in the Jubilee, and then he can go back to his property. So if you sell it, minimally at 50 years, you're going to get back. If a man sells a house in a walled city, he retains the right of redemption a full year after its sale. During that time, he may redeem it. If it is not redeemed before the full year has passed, the house in the walled city shall belong permanently to the buyer and his descendants. It is not to be returned in the Jubilee. Okay, so this only includes fields and things outside city walls. But houses in villages without walls around them are to be considered as open country. They can be redeemed, and they are to be returned in Jubilee. The Levites always have the right to redeem their houses in the Levitical towns which they possess. So the property of the Levites is redeemable, that is, a house sold in any town they hold, and is to be returned in the Jubilee, because the houses in the towns of the Levites are their property among the Israelites. But the pasture land belonging to the towns must not be sold. It is their permanent possession. If one of your countrymen becomes poor and is unable to support himself among you, help him as you would an alien or a temporary resident, so he can continue to live among you. Like that, help him. And you're like, but what do you mean it's an alien or a temporary resident? Like, hospitality was expected. Do not take interest of any kind from him. The kind is, I got a footnote of A. Or excessive interest. Or take excessive interest of him, okay? But fear your God, so that your countrymen may continue to live among you. You must not lend him money at interest or sell him food at a profit. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. If one of your countrymen becomes poor among you and sells himself to you, do not make him work as a slave. He is to be treated as a hired worker or a temporary resident among you. He is to work for you until the year of Jubilee. Then he and his children are to be released, and he will go back to his own clan and to his property of his forefathers. because the Israelites are my servants, whom I brought out of Egypt. They must not be sold as slaves. Do not rule over them. There we go. Do not rule over them ruthlessly, to fear your God. Your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you, and from them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. So I don't like that at all. You can will them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life. I don't like that. But if you must rule over your fellow, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. I say don't rule over anybody ruthlessly, but I'm all for not having slaves. If any alien or temporary resident among you becomes rich, and one of your countrymen becomes poor and sells himself to the alien living among you, or to a member of the alien's clan, he retains the right of redemption after he has sold himself. One of his relatives may redeem him. An uncle or a cousin or any blood relative in his clan may redeem him. Or if he prospers, he may redeem himself. He and his buyer are to count the time from the year he sold himself up to the year of Jubilee. The price for his release is to be based on the rate paid for a hired man for that number of years. If many years remain, he must pay for his redemption a larger share of the price paid for him. If only a few years remain until year of Jubilee, then he is to compute that and pay for his redemption accordingly. He is to be treated as a man hired from year to year. You must see to it that his owner does not rule over him ruthlessly. So they expected them to get involved, the priests. Even if he is not redeemed in any of these ways, he and his children are to be released in the year of Jubilee. For the Israelites belong to me as servants. They are my servants whom I brought out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Well, obviously you got to hear from me the parts I didn't like. But again, long ago, different people, the concept of living in a world with absolutely no slavery back in the BC era. We couldn't even get to it in the AD era until a certain place. I'm not even sure there's people, I'm pretty sure there are people who are not over the fact that they can't own slaves like today, let alone, back thousands and thousands of years ago. 3,000 years ago? Yeah, it sucks. I'm sorry anybody was ever a slave. It's terrible. I'm glad that we're in a place where that's just a thing that we all look at now, or most of us look at now and go, no. Bad human. Hello, friends, and welcome to Bible Study Video 2. We are still in the NIV. I'm sorry for the people who don't like it. Again, leave me your favorite version of the Bible down below. I will put it on the list, and we will read that one too. I want to read as many versions as possible. This is just one. It's not even my favorite. It's just the one that has the most plain language. Because quite frankly, that KJV was, basically written by the same, or not basically, written by the same person who, wrote Shakespeare, in my opinion. That's a whole different subject matter. That's like send me an email so I can send you a link to tell you where to go look. For why I believe any such thing, I can send you to what led me to that state of belief. Edited by the same person who actually wrote Shakespeare. Right, so that means that language requires translation because it's not in the language the average person speaks. And it's not that I can't do it. I can do it. I have done it. I've been able to do that since high school. But It doesn't mean I want to have to, when I'm deciding if this is a thing I can maintain when I first started this part of this channel, that I want to start with the most challenging thing. Right? Think of it as a warm-up. Besides, then this is the one we're going to be comparing the rest of the Bibles to. So if you don't like this one, whew, you're going to like it, and you're going to like what we have to say about it in a few years then. So who is the greatest is where this one starts while we're talking about things in comparison, right? Verse 33. We're going 33 through 50 of chapter 9 of Mark. Listen, in case I skipped parts there. They came to Capernaum. He was in the house, and he asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" But they kept quiet, because on the way they had argued about who was the greatest. Like, who is Dad's favorite? Sitting down, Jesus called the 12 and said, "If anyone wants to be first, he must be the very last, and the servant of all." Servant leadership. And I'm big on servant leadership. That's how I was trained. He took a little child and had him stand among them. Taking him in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me." So you can't be rolling with Jesus and think it's okay to hurt kids. If you hurt kids, you hurt Jesus. "And whoever welcomes me does not, and whoever welcomes me does not welcome me, but the one who sent me." Oh, okay. So if you welcome anybody that Jesus sent you, you welcome God. So you understand that. "Whoever is not against us is for us." So we're not supposed to be running around in hostility towards each other by demographic of Christian. I.e., one type of Christian is not supposed to be, bashing another type of Christian. Okay? Teacher, verse 38. "Teacher," said John, "we saw a man driving out demons in your name, and we told him to stop because he's not one of us. He's not in our club. He shouldn't have the right to. Do not stop him." Jesus said, "No one who does a miracle in my name can be in the next moment saying anything bad about me. For whoever is not against us is for us. I tell you the truth. Anyone who gives you a cup of water in my name, because you belong to Christ, will certainly not lose his reward." So, if you see somebody out there in the world, some other Christian going along in the world, not hurting other people, doing what they're supposed to be doing, serving the Lord, but maybe you don't like them, but they're doing good in the world, maybe just stay away from each other. Don't try to rip them apart. Don't do the comparison thing, because we're not supposed to do the comparison thing. If you're not doing the comparison thing, there's no greater or lesser. And then it just makes it very simple. Any attempt at doing greater or lesser, attempts to go tit for tat or win at all costs, is you dabbling in Satan's games instead of keeping your eyes on your own world and walking the Christ consciousness path. And that's true of anybody, including myself. I mean, it's true. All people are prone to this. And it's not okay for anybody to do it, no matter who they are. That's really just the truth. I'm not saying I've never done it or will never do it again or haven't done it. Well, that's all BS. I'm a person. I do all the same terrible things that a lot of other people do. I mean, they're not as bad as I'm not saying I don't sin. I'm not saying my sins are not what one would consider, like what the Catholics would consider mortal sins, because I'm not running around the world intentionally trying to hurt people. That has no appeal. It's not even in my making. If anything, it's usually, I get involved because I care. And that's where the problems come into my life. Causing to sin. Verse 42. If anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to be thrown into the sea with a large millstone, so it's a big grinding stone, tied around his neck. Whew. It's better for you to die than to make it so children don't believe in Jesus. That's pretty strong. And this is from Messiah, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life maimed than with two hands to go into hell, where the fire never goes out. See some manuscripts where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. So where you're always suffering in some fashion. Because I'm not really going to get into the hellfire brimstone. 45. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life crippled than to have 2 feet and be thrown into hell. Some manuscripts where the worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. So they're pretty consistent there. And if your eye causes you to sin, then pluck it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than to have 2 eyes and to be thrown into hell, where their worms does not die and the fire is not quenched. Isaiah 66:24. Everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if it loses its saltiness, how can you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with each other. So having salt, that's a particular turn of phrase, right? What does that mean? Think about that. What does it mean? They're the salt of the earth. What does that mean? We also use the phrase salty, right? When somebody's salty, right? They're sarcastic. They're bitter, right? They got some of that going on in there. But in this case, salt is good. To be stable is good. To be consistent is good. To be balanced is good. To not believe everything that somebody says to you is also good. We call that discernment. Discernment is something, well, that I actively pray for, but is also something that they flat out say comes with the spiritual maturity. It's part of the wisdom you get. Wisdom is really having the discernment to know where to apply the knowledge given in a way that keeps everything fair and even, keeps everybody balanced, and doesn't harm. There are rules. There's supposed to be a code of conduct for how you act in the world when you say you're following him. So, and you're not allowed to be leading people astray. And he's really not making any kind of allowance. Because he's not saying just because he's going to forgive us from all of our sins, he's going to make us impossible to do the sins. Of course, we're still going to have, the temptation is still there. But he's basically saying, no. If you're looking for excuses that make it so you can go sin, you should know, I expect you to physically maim yourself before you think it's okay for you to just go sin, and then I'm just going to forgive you with nothing. Because, I mean, if he was going to forgive you for everything and not expect you to have to change anything, why is he telling you to cut off your hand or your foot or pluck out your eye? Why would he tell you to do any of those things? Why would even any of that be? Those are his words. And Mark's not the only apostle who's going to have us say those. They're covered several times. So, should make us stop and think about what we even think about what the forgiveness of Jesus means. Because there are most certainly people in the world who think that forgiveness means that we should pretend like I didn't do that thing, and I should have no accountability for my actions. My lip service apology should make you feel emotionally satisfied. What's the matter? What do you mean? You have feelings. You're not allowed to have those. They're inconvenient for me. That's not really how it works. What you're really saying is you don't care what that person's feelings even are, because you don't want to have to make any amends. You want them to play pretend. And that's not the same thing. That is actually an indication that you're not even sorry, because you're not ready to be mature and be accountable for your actions. Accountability includes things like voluntary change to fix what one has hurt or destroyed, or, whatever, destructive verb works for you, whatever your situation may be. Hopefully you don't have this situation, but it's just one that needs to be covered, because, Jesus is talking about cutting off hands and plucking out eyes. So I don't pick the subject matter, essentially. I just, because I'm going to read every word. So whatever's up next is whatever's up next, right? So until a little bit from now, friends, we'll be closing out the second epistle from Peter. So we'll be closing out 2 Peter today. In just a minute, actually. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We're in Bible study. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We are in the NIV, and we will be through the end of 2025. We are in this video, we're in Psalms, Book 2, Psalm 44, and we're doing verses 9 through 26. So let's jump in. But now you have rejected and humbled us. You no longer go out with our armies. You made us retreat before the enemy, and our adversaries have plundered us. You gave us up to be devoured like sheep and have scattered us among the nations. You sold your people for a pittance, gained nothing from their sale. You have made us a reproach to our neighbors, the scorn and derision of those around us. You have made us a byword among the nations. The peoples shake their head at us. My disgrace is before me all day long, and my face is covered with shame at the taunts of those who reproach and revile me, because of the enemy who is bent on revenge. All this happened to us, though we had not forgotten about you or been false to your covenant. Our hearts had not turned back, our feet had not strayed from your path, but you crushed us and made us a haunt for jackals and covered us over with deep darkness. If we had forgotten the name of our God or spread out our hands to a foreign god, would not God have discovered it? Since he knows the secrets of the heart. Yet for your sake, we face death all day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. Awake, O Lord! Why do you sleep? Rouse yourself. Do not reject us forever. Why do you hide your face and forget our misery and oppression? We are brought down to the dust. Our bodies cling to the ground. Rise up and help us. Redeem us because of your unfailing love. It really is an unfailing love.